Greetings and welcome to the GeoLearn course, The Benefits of Surveyor's Notes. I'm Dick Elgin and happy to be with GeoLearn to impart perhaps some knowledge about use of Surveyor's Notes on plats, or to supplement what we have shown graphically on plats. In today's practice, there are so many aspects of the survey, most of which can be shown graphically, but certainly to supplement that information these days with some explanatory notes is probably equally important. There'll be conditions relative to the survey, or methods employed in the survey, research, perhaps field methods, conditions which either require or deserve some explanatory notes on the plats. Surveyor's notes have been around for a long time, but in today's practice, with so many different aspects of the survey, probably some explanatory notes would be very helpful. They may deserve some comment, some explanation, some expansion. And also, of course, one of the purposes would be to help the user of the survey. We need to make sure that that person understands particularly what the survey is and what the survey isn't. And as I'll point out, another aspect of having explanatory notes or these surveyor's notes on the plats is to help ourselves to defend the survey in the case of some misuse or misunderstanding about the survey by the user itself. For example, on a conventional survey plat, now, I'll use the term plat and map probably interchangeably, but for a conventional survey plat, the plat doesn't show any easements going across the parcel perhaps, so does that mean that there aren't any easements? And to we surveyors, we would say no, it doesn't mean that there aren't any. There may not be any shown, but that doesn't mean that there aren't any. You can easily imagine somebody looking at the plat and inferring from the fact that there aren't any shown that there aren't any in fact. But you say, my state's minimum standards cover that. I don't need any explanatory notes about these easements shown on the plats because in some way it's discussed or covered in minimum standards. Well, that's not much of a defense because the user of the survey, of course, is not going to know or understand what might be required in minimum standards. So, for example, on a conventional boundary survey plat, now I'll use the term plat, but it could mean map depending on what part of the country you're in. But for a conventional boundary survey plat, let's suppose that there are no easements shown on the plat. Well, does that mean that there aren't any easements that affect the parcel? And we surveyors would say no, that doesn't particularly necessarily mean that there aren't any easements just because aren't any shown. But on the other hand, you can easily understand somebody looking at the plat, seeing that there aren't any easements on the plat, and inferring from that there aren't any easements that affect the property. But you say, my minimum standards cover that because there's nothing in minimum standards that requires me to show record easements on the plat. Well, that doesn't help too much in a defense situation because the user of the survey, that presumes some knowledge of minimum standards on behalf of the user of the survey, of course, which generally is not going to be true.